Moving to Afghanistan now, it will be 2 years on the 15th of August since the Taliban took over Afghanistan for a second time. Soon after Kabul fell, many universities based out of the United States came up with scholarships to help the displaced Afghan students. Up next, we bring you a story of one such student who left her homeland to fulfill her dreams.
Remember these horrific scenes from 2 years back. Chaos and confusion erupted at the Kabul airport after the Taliban takeover. Among many who managed to flee the country was Fahima Sultani. She fled her homeland because she knew at the time that she didn't stand a chance. She says she knew that her dreams and future here stood shattered forever. Sultani was lucky enough to have reached the United States of America. During the pandemic, she studied online through the Asian University for Women in Bangladesh. She is now pursuing graduation at the Arizona State University, one of some 60 Afghan women studying there.
One night that we were trying to get into the airport, they stopped our bus. They put their refills toward us and said that if you don't turn back and go home, we will just fire at you and kill all of you. 2 to 3 members of Taliban came even inside the bus with the big guns in their hands, said no Bangladesh, no education, go back home. Go back home.
Sultani often thinks of her family back home, of her sister who studied in university when she left, but who can scarcely venture outdoors now. Women of Sultani's generation, born around the time the US ousted the Taliban after the 9/11 attacks in 2001, grew up attending school and watching as women pursued careers. The return of the Taliban in 2021 upended those freedoms.
I wanted to get out of Afghanistan to be able to continue my education, but also one of the hardest because I left my relatives, my siblings, my parents, all behind. Everything that I had there.
Education and employment for them dimmed and faded out. Getting out of Afghanistan for education overseas was a distant dream for most. The US invasion in 2001 was a turning point of sorts. Scholarships for youth emerged. The initial flurry of scholarships, efforts to assist Afghan students have continued. The Qatar Scholarship was created for Afghanis, helping 250 students get scholarships at dozens of colleges and universities in the US. The need for many more remains and efforts are being made. The University of Tulsa in Oklahoma announced 2 scholarships for Afghans seeking refuge in the US. Later, the university created 5 more scholarships for young Afghans. According to the Afghan American Community Organization, in 2021, scholarships worth $70,000 were granted to undergraduate and graduate Afghan American students. In 2022, scholarships worth $20,000 were given out.
I think they've broken down a lot of stereotypes. I really do. The world might see Afghan women as voiceless or helpless. Well, I can tell you for sure that these women are not voiceless or helpless as a whole. They're very resourceful, they're very brilliant, and even tenacious at times.
They're doing remarkably well, given that they were uprooted from their homes and from their families in a very difficult situation. The evacuation itself was pretty frightening for all of them.
After making their way to universities and colleges across the US over the last 2 years, many are nearing graduation and planning their futures. It's a silver lining of sorts in an otherwise dark cloud that Afghanistan has turned into today. There remain hundreds, if not thousands, like Fahima Sultani in Afghanistan who stare into a dark future, waiting for Lady Luck to smile.